My best advice is you're not talking to a doctor. You will be, but don't treat it that way. You're talking to a lawyer. So you have to think like a lawyer. If you minimize anything, he or she will say your pain isn't real or rateable. Here's a bad example. Does your back hurt? Sometimes when it's cold, but only a little when it's warm out. The right answer is simple. Yes, especially when it's cold out. You must show up for your exam. The C&P exam is ordered by the VA rater because they do not have enough medical evidence to make a determination about your claim. Here's an example. The only acceptable diagnosis of PTSD is from the VA. This means a VA psychologist, a VA psychiatrist, or from the C&P examiner. If you do not have a diagnosis of PTSD and you don't show up to your C&P exam, your claim will be denied 100% of the time. You have to go to your C&P exam. How to prepare for your exam. Read through your military, VA, and private medical records. Review CFR Title 38, Part 4, the Schedule for Rating Disabilities. Do not have your best day on the day of your C&P exam. This is supposed to be an average. Be vulnerable with your C&P examiner. You should be ready to go in there and lay it all on the line. And if it makes you cry, it makes you cry. You're heading in the right direction if you're that upset about it, for sure. I know I was. You need to explain how your disabilities are limiting your work and your social life. It comes down to social and occupational impairment in all VA claims. You need to know your story cold so you don't have to refer to notes. You have a disability that's chronic that's been bothering you for 20 years. You shouldn't have to refer to notes to talk about the last 20 years of pain you've been in. You're going to need to explain your life prior to joining the service, during, and after you got out of the service. That's one of the questions they ask most of the time. They want to see if this really started before you even got into the service, or if it happened during or when you got out. Let's talk about my boot camp a little bit, or see what other people are saying. Jody says, cheers, thanks for the awesome boot camp. Donald is just getting on board here. He's getting off the bus at boot camp. Randy says, love your boot camp. Well, he didn't say that, but thanks. This is a real humanitarian award. Last one, 100% P&T at 24 years old. I have Combat Craig and his videos to thank for that. You can get 100% permanent and total at 24 years old. You can also get it at 94 years old. It's about a disability and how it affects your social and your work life. It's not about your age. What do you bring to your C&P exam? I'd bring your current medications. You filed your claim a couple months ago. Your meds may have changed. Bring a current list of your medications. Download them from My Healthy Vet. And if you use a private doctor like I do, get a copy of your pharmacy receipts and bring it in that way so he has the most up-to-date medication list. Bring your spouse. The doctor may or may not let your spouse in, but your spouse provided a buddy letter for you. If the doctor wants to talk to your spouse, that would be a good idea for you to, have them there so they can help you. Bring them. Bring your medical history. You submitted all of your medical history when you filed your claim. But it's possible that the guy didn't get anything. So you're not bringing your medical history to review it because he's not going to go over pages of medical history with you. He is there to make his own opinion of you and to evaluate you. Hey, you want my medical history? And hand it to him if he says yes. Don't start reading it off to him. Assistance devices. If you use a cane, then bring the cane. If you use an elbow brace or a knee brace or an ankle brace, whatever you use, wear it to the exam. The flip side of that coin is if you're prescribed something like a cane and you don't use it, then don't use a cane at the exam. The doctor can totally tell if you're not familiar with using a cane. So don't fake it, don't lie, don't exaggerate, that kind of stuff. You need to bring your story and you need to know your story cold. Inside and out. Review the DBQ, your disabilities, how they make you feel, how that matches up to the rating criteria. Everything about your story you need to have locked down. You need to be alert. When you arrive at the C&P exam, they're filming you with cameras most likely, out in the parking lot, inside, because cameras are everywhere. You need to be alert to see what the doctor's doing, because you may have to challenge this C&P exam as an inadequate C&P exam, and you're going to have to take notes. You're not going to be writing them down. Take good mental notes, and the moment you get out of the C&P exam, go write down everything that happened, and then you're going to have to evaluate if the exam was good or not. The C&P doctor is not your friend. He's there to do a job. His job is to evaluate you. Your job is to be evaluated. That's it. There's no friend transaction in this encounter. You'll probably never see this guy again. Watch what you say. Everything you say will be written down and taken out of context because it's written down. Watch what you say and how you say it. They are watching you. Like I mentioned, there's cameras everywhere. So plan on being filmed the whole time you're there, in the parking lot, in the office, in the exam room, everywhere. If you use a cane, use it everywhere. Don't not use the cane walking up to the door and start hobbling when you walk in the door. They already got you. And you don't want to be in that situation because now you're a liar. Don't exaggerate. Again, if the doctor thinks that you're lying, it's going to negatively impact your claim. Tell the truth and stick to the facts. No small talk. Any talk can be taken out of context. Wow, the weather's horrible today. It's really hot. It's really cold. I had a great burger at that place that you just went to. Don't talk about any of that stuff. You're going to be in and out of there before you know it. You do not need to talk about tasty burgers with your C&P examiner. You need to talk about your disabilities and how they affect your work and your social life. What happens at the exam? The doctor was hired by a VA rater to do a specific job. You don't know what that job is, so you need to prepare for everything. The VA rater didn't have enough medical evidence, so he ordered a C&P exam for you, right? Maybe he's going to just watch you walk. Maybe he's going to do range of motion testing on you. He's for sure going to ask you questions. Maybe he'll talk about medications, your child history, active duty history, post-service history. Or maybe he will talk about something completely different. Prepare for everything. How long will my exam last? It's impossible to tell, but based on my experience with going to C&P exams, it could last anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours. The VA rater ordered the exam, and his notes to the doctor may be something like, see if the veteran limps while walking. If it was something simple like that, a doctor can make a determination in 30 seconds if you have a limp while you walk. So go in there and be prepared to go talk for an hour. If it lasts 5 minutes, then you're set that way too. Make sure you don't leave out any important details and you have your talking points. I'm telling you, these things go very quick. And before you know it, you're going to be out of there with your head spinning going, wow, I was talking about Facebook. What a moron. I'd like to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Hill & Potten. They're accredited VA disability attorneys out of Orlando, Florida. And if you need help with an appeal or a legal matter regarding your VA claim, you might want to check them out at hillandpotten.com. Why do I need a second C&P exam? You might, and it might be for the exact same thing you did the first time, because the first doctor didn't get it right. He didn't get enough info, or he screwed up, or he was rushed. LHI is one of the big contractors, and they've been making tons of mistakes this year, and we're the ones that pay for it. I've heard of people going back for the exact same thing. Again, we don't know because the VA rater has notes to the doctor, but exact same thing like a knee exam, 4 of them. LHI is a mess right now. Leave a comment below if you had a C&P exam by a contracted doctor from LHI this year. And if you can share some of your experience, that would be helpful to everybody that reads the comments. What happens next? You went to your C&P exam. You're complete. What do I do now? You wait for your decision letter. If the VA needs anything from you, they will send you a letter. Like over on the left here, we sent you a letter in the mail asking for more evidence to support your claim. We'll wait 30 days for your evidence. If you don't have anything more you want to submit, let us know and we'll go ahead and make a decision on your claim. So everything that happens in va.gov and e-benefits, there's all sorts of things moving around, preparation for decision, sending things back. None of that stuff matters. If the VA needs something, they will send you a letter. You don't even need to worry about e-benefits. They send you a letter when you got your C&P exam, right? I get it. It's been 4 months or 8 months. They're slow. They will send you a letter if they need something. You made the first move when you filed your VA claim. The VA then made the second move by approving or denying your claim. Then you can decide whether to appeal the decision or let it ride if you're happy with the decision. Veteran failed to report for C&P exam. This veteran is me. This was around 124.92. Veteran failed to report. I've even found something in my VA claims file where a deferred or confirmed rating decision was handwritten. So I thought that was kind of cool. Veterans Affairs examination, you failed to report. If you fail to report, this is what happens. Veteran didn't even bother to show up. He doesn't care. Denied. Here's a more recent example. The evidence from your service treatment records submitted in connection with the current claim does not constitute relevant evidence because it does not prove or disprove a matter at issue with your claim. The evidence from your service treatment records submitted in connection with the current claim does not constitute new and relevant evidence because it was previously submitted and considered in the rating decision of March 1st, 2017. This verbiage on here, new and relevant evidence, is a new phrase versus what they used to say, relevant evidence. Look at the favorable findings identified in this decision. I talk about favorable findings a lot in my videos. It's usually just a bunch of stuff to make you feel a little bit better. And they didn't do that on this one. Favorable findings, none. You were not available for your exam. That's what happens when you don't show up to your C&P exam. I'm telling you guys, keep pounding it. Go to your C&P exam and hit it out of the park. All right, let's talk about some of the bonus things that I have for you. Bonus claims, the money round. Migraines secondary to almost anything. Migraines and any kinds of headaches. It's about 150 of them that are rateable under diagnostic code 8100. They're subjective. That means that they can't tell if you're having them, how often you're having them, or anything like that. So if you have headaches, file a claim. A claimant's own testimony regarding his or her symptoms and limitations when having those symptoms can establish prostration. That means laying down, as long as the testimony is credible and symptoms are otherwise competently attributed to migraine headaches through medical evidence. Your testimony is always considered credible unless you're a liar, and then you're not credible. You're a malingerer. So you are able to submit a migraine log. I encourage you to submit a migraine log. It is great objective medical evidence to support a secondary migraine claim. Migraine Buddy is an app that you can use. Simple to use. It's in both app stores. The bottom here, a veteran went for an increase. He was at 0%, submitted his migraine log, and kept going to the VA, and he got increased to 50% for migraines. Depression secondary to tinnitus. Tinnitus is a nightmare. It's a nightmare that I live with. You can file a secondary claim to tinnitus because it drives you nuts. There's only one actual rating for tinnitus. It's 10%. Bilateral tinnitus or one ear tinnitus. It's just 10%. You're either service connected or you're not. There is no such thing as a 0% rating for tinnitus. If you go down the left side, see that little arrow that says depressive disorder due to a mental condition? That little arrow indicates that it's a secondary claim. So this veteran filed a secondary claim for depressive disorder secondary to tinnitus. He won his claim and got a 50% rating as a result. This is how you take your 10% rating for tinnitus and turn it into a 50 or maybe a 60% rating depending on the combined ratings table, aka VA math. For VA purposes, tinnitus has been specifically found to be a disorder with symptoms that can be identified through lay observation alone. Your written statement. When I got my tinnitus claim right, it was my personal statement. I explained where they started exactly. On the flight line in Panama, and then on the flight line at Incirlik Air Base during Desert Storm. Tinnitus is a subjective condition legally identified through lay observation alone. You'll still need to see an audiologist for a diagnosis or at least some charting, and it needs to be in the record that you discussed it with a doctor, but really they're just sending you to a hearing exam. Tinnitus is a subjective claim. They can't tell how bad you have it, if you don't have it. And you don't even know where it's coming from. You just have this ringing that never goes away.